2020 hopeful Bernie Sanders, the Democratic socialist, out with a new campaign ad, claiming the forgotten men and women that President Trump promised to help are the ones being left behind. Watch.
Trump lied to Ohio. He hasn't done one thing to lift a finger. He came to this area and told people, do not sell your homes. I'm bringing the jobs back. And weeks after that is when they announced the plant closing.
Let me tell you folks in Ohio and in this area, don't sell your house.
A large American factory stopped production today after more than half a century. 1,600 workers at the General Motors plant in Lordstown, Ohio, are affected by this.
Campaign is on. Here now exclusively is Linda McMahon, former small business administrator, now chair of the pro-Trump super PAC America First Action. Thanks for coming in, Administrator.
Thanks for having me.
How do you react to that? Because this is what Bernie Sanders, if he's the nominee, is going to try to do. Take it directly to the man you work for and say that the president promised these auto workers in Ohio, I'm not going to forget about you, don't sell your house, and then the plant gets shut down.
Well, I can tell you for the past 2 years as the SBA administrator, I have traveled the country. I've been to all 50 states. I've talked to over 800 businesses. I've visited many small businesses, and I can tell you that the president's economic plan is working. More people are starting businesses. They're raising wages. They're investing in their companies. They are really growing the economy, as only small businesses can do, as the backbone of our economy.
You attribute that to cutting government regulations and cutting taxes?
Absolutely, it's both. It is both. When I first went out on the visitation route, if you will, most of the businesses asked, are we really going to get tax cuts? Then it was regulatory rollback. Now what I hear about really is the shortage of workforce. So when Bernie Sanders says, you know, that he's going to help create jobs and the president forgot about the workers, well, we've got more jobs than we have people to fill those jobs.
But are you concerned some of those small businesses you helped might start cutting jobs at some point as they automate, as technology continues to come in, just like we saw in General Motors? It doesn't always work out.
Well, General Motors did offer to relocate a lot of those workers, and I think what we have to do is a lot of cross-training now. And that's one of the things that we need to do is we need to re-elect President Donald Trump because he has put all of these policies in place. I mean, do we really want to stop this economy and the growth that it's going? I'm just a very practical, common sense person. And when I'm out looking across the country and I see the positive impact that the president's policies have had, I'm going, why would we want to stop this?
The president said that over Easter weekend, tweeted this, Happy Easter. I have never been happier or more content because your country is doing so well with an economy that is the talk of the world and may be stronger than it has ever been before. Have a great day. Big picture, do you think with the Mueller report done now, the president touting this strong economy, that between now and 2020, he may finally be able to get more of his agenda done?
Well, I certainly hope so. That would be the correct path. I mean, doesn't it make sense to allow the president to continue to put more policies in place to help the economy continue to grow? That's one of the reasons that I agreed to take on this job, to be the chair of America First, you know, the official super PAC for the president, because I want to help raise funds to help him get reelected. I'm going to do all I can to help him get reelected.
He has a good story to tell, as we mentioned. You have a good story to tell in being a surrogate for him. Statistics, for example, unemployment. I mean, record lows.
Yes.
Something we haven't seen in 50 years. That's a great story to tell. On the other hand, as you see what Bernie Sanders is doing, I want to go back to that ad because statistics don't always translate into somebody feeling it in their bones. How do you make that case?
Well, if you remember when the president was campaigning, he was talking to the African-American community. He said, take a chance on me. What have you got to lose? What have we seen now? Unemployment in African-American, lowest in history. Hispanic community, women in 65 years. He made promises. He delivered on those promises, and we have seen our economy flourish. He absolutely helped wages and workers and jobs, all of the things that he said he was going to do. Manufacturing has come back. So I'm behind this president, you know, 100%, and I want to see him be able to continue to do what he's done so well.
In big picture, if that ad works in the Democratic primaries for Bernie Sanders and he gets the nomination, what does the president think? What do you think as the chair of America First Action at the idea of a socialist going head on with a capitalist? Is that a race you're going to win?
I would love to see that because I really do believe that Americans, and I think polls show, that most Americans do believe in capitalism and not socialism. I mean, it's what our country's been founded on. It's what's made our country so successful. And I think the president certainly touts that experience as an entrepreneur who built a business and has watched the economy grow here as being president. He's known what to do. He's been a bit disruptive doing it. I think that's why he was elected.
Socialism is getting people excited, though. They like new stuff. AOC, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has this big following. Bernie Sanders, big crowds, big money. How do you counter that?
Well, isn't the age-old phrase is, eventually you run out of other people's money? And I think with capitalism, the president is really touting what makes this country so great. We are empowering the individuals to go into business, to work, to have their wages be increased. And that's what works. That's why we're got the hottest economy in the world. Linda
McMahon, we appreciate you coming in. We know you recently left the cabinet. Doing your first interview here at The Story, we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck in the days ahead.
Thanks so much.
All right.